guys, Underground Geek here, and I'm back at it again with another comic book review. And I'm really excited to do the review of this comic just because it's got such a great cover and the story's pretty fun, pretty different. I actually was going to order this comic. I saw it online and I didn't know it was Rebirth because it was a virgin cover. I thought it was just another Superman storyline they were just doing on the side because it's so just out of the blue that all of a sudden we've got Yellow Lantern Superman, almost like Injustice or something. But anyway, so we got this cool cover, and the storyline starts out with this little boy, and he's playing like a DC Comics version of Pokemon Go. And so it leads him to this LexCorp Gardens, which is like jacked up. Obviously nobody's been there for a while. It's like a school. And so he's going walking around, he's looking for a Pokemon, and he comes across this little creature. And it's funny because he's like, wow, maybe you're from the Zoo 52 reboot. Get it? 52 reboot. But so he finds this little creature and it gets him. Apparently it wasn't as sweet as it acted like. So then we've got Superman flying in here, doing his Superman stuff, and it says a minute longer. They start talking about all the kids that have went missing. He was the first one to go missing. And now all these other children went missing. So he's been spending his nights flying around looking for them with the cops. And so he hasn't found them, and he has to tell the parents, and they're getting a little bit upset because, you know, they don't have the children. So he's talking a little bit more with him. He's talking with Jimmy. Jimmy's getting pictures for the story for the newspaper. And the parents are starting to get really upset at this point. They're starting to blame them for not being able to find them. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't get so cocky around Superman. I mean, these people always get upset in the comic books and say, well, you did. And I'm like, dude, he's Superman. He can like smush you like a bug. So then we have this little girl here asleep, and somebody's touching her and sitting over in the bed, which is creepy as heck. And it's the little boy that's been missing, but obviously something's not right with him, and now his dialogue has changed. And she says, go away, you're scaring me. And he says, I know I am. That's the whole point, silly. And he's looking pretty scary. So then at this point, Superman finds these steps here. Something's going on with the spectrum there, and it hurts him to have to try to focus on the steps, but in doing so he finds the direction that they're going. We have this cool storm right here that's starting to blow in. So he follows the steps, and then we go back to the little boy and the little girl. He's leading her somewhere, and there comes Superman, and he notices that that's the kid that's been missing, so he wants to bring him home to his parents. And he says, I don't want your help. And his eyes start to shine. And then he blasts him with energy. And so at that point, Superman blasts up out of there, which at first I thought he was laying like that. It kind of threw me off a little bit, but he throws the rocks out of the way and then uses ice breath on the kid, you know, and normally I wouldn't have done it because wouldn't it have killed the kid? But anyway, it's pretty neat because he hits him with the ice, but then the other kid counters him from behind because they're all like a collective consciousness, apparently. And so then the energy goes back into the boy again. So he's jumping bodies, obviously. Then Superman's starting to recover, and he blasts him again. I guess that incapacitates him. So at that point, it's been a little while, and the police actually are on the scene, and they wake him up. And now he realizes what he's been seeing, which is the fear spectrum. So at that point, he flies off, and he tells them to get ready with their emergency services. So he's starting to look, and the fear is everywhere, so it's hard for him to track down where he's at. But eventually he does. He goes back to that first place that the boy was at, the LexCorp Gardens. And the boy's talking to him. The voice is talking to him in the distance. And he says, I can smell the terror bubbling up in your soul. And at that point, Superman sees something. He sees the Dark Knights. No, I'm just kidding. That's going to be really cool when that comes out. But anyway, so then he sees this fear web pretty much, and he's got all these kids trapped in it, and he's consuming their fear, but slowly. And I mean, he's creepy looking as heck. So at that point, he's like, I was wrong before. You're not Sinestro, you're worse. So now we know it's not Sinestro. He says, Sinestro is a tiny flame. I am the shining yellow sun. So who could he be? So at that point, he starts changing into his true form. He says, I am fear. Parallax. So Parallax had actually escaped after the fight with Hal Jordan and Sinestro, and he ended up on Earth and took over the little boy's body, and then at that point started kidnapping all the kids. So he starts fighting Superman. Superman's trying to take it easy on him because he still has that body of the kid, and he's talking through all the children. Now he's starting to try to absorb into Superman, which is gross, but he pulls him out of him, and at that point he's kind of able to handle his fear now, like he's not fearing as much. But since that won't work, Parallax is using the kids as bait, and he starts absorbing their life force through fear, and they start looking like little dried up pieces of meat. And it's at that point he says, I'm the one you want, not them. You can have me, do you understand? Just let them go. That's exactly what Parallax wanted. So at that point, he absorbs into him and says, at last, this body is mine now. Nothing can hurt Parallax anymore. So then we've got the yellow lantern Superman, which is pretty cool looking. And then pow, something hits him from behind and the voice says wrong. Which doesn't really make sense, because if he blasts him from behind, wouldn't the bubble be going that way? But anyway. You have something that belongs to me, Superman. So Sinestro has tracked down Parallax and he's trying to collect him again so that he can use him as a battery. And next issue we've got Super Parallax versus Sinestro. This is going to be really good. I mean, it's going to be a really good episode. I'm kind of excited, I'm excited to see it. I don't know what's going on with the other comics here lately. They're like all based into the future now all of a sudden. So we've got Batwoman, and I guess Nightwing now is going to be post-apocalyptic, which, can we stop doing post-apocalyptic stories for a little while? I mean, we've got that Gotham City Garage, and then we've got Batwoman, and now Nightwing's all going to be doing stories like that. Can we do something else? I mean, at least these movies are going out on a limb and saying, we're going to do Harley Quinn with Batman. I mean, that's still stupid, but, you know, anyway. So, all in all, this is a good story. You know, I give it like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I mean, it was very exciting, lots of action. Superman doing his thing, Parallax doing his thing. So I recommend it. It's a good story. I'll probably hold on to this because I like the cover. But tell me what you think about the review. Hit the thumbs up, hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you later. All right, I'm out.